The Senate confirming Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services today. For more, we're bringing in Yahoo Finance senior health reporter Anjalee Khemlani. So there's lots of implications, obviously, of this, both for publicly traded companies, for the health system in general. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start with the publicly traded companies. Obviously, we know the entire healthcare sector is going to be impacted by decisions that come down from RFK Jr. What we do know is that it seems to have been priced in. We aren't seeing any really major stock moves. We are seeing a little bit movement on Hims. We'll get to that in a second. But important to note that he did get this vote 52-48 with Mitch McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell, being the only one to break from party lines. And he's a childhood polio survivor, so obviously has reason to look into the vaccines. Now, the vaccines being one of the biggest issues that is likely to flare up. We did hear during the confirmation hearings, Health Secretary Kennedy talking about how he supports the childhood vaccine schedule, but the questions about whether or not the rhetoric that he has had in the past is going to flare up and cause problems in the future. What decisions he makes about how research is done is also going to be a point to look at. So really across the board, some issues to look at there. Meanwhile, Hims, let's take a look at that chart because that company is up, hopping today about 20%. If it still is, yeah, still more than that. So Hims has had an interesting week. Caught in controversy over its Super Bowl ad, which basically criticized the American healthcare system, talk about on brand with the political climate right now, and then followed by looking at pitching its compounded GLP-1s or weight loss drugs that it is selling through the telehealth platform. That's something that is a little bit interesting. We have seen that some of these drugs are coming off the shortage list, so that is creating some concerns about whether or not companies like Hims as well as Roe are going to be able to continue selling these compounded drugs moving forward. We did get some notes, one from an analyst or healthcare expert, Jared Holes, talking about how the RFK-led Health and Human Services Department will take a fairly lenient stance with respect to GLP-1 compounders. And this incoming administration appears to be very focused on cost benefits. So it could take a different stance. It could keep these drugs on shortage lists. It could allow them to continue, wild, wild west in that era. But we will definitely see. Meanwhile, just recap quickly back on Kennedy, just to note that pharma, one of the biggest lobbying firms, is going to be chaired by Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla this year. So that's going to create a very interesting relationship on vaccines and anything else moving forward. So
very interesting.
Stay tuned.
Thank you, Anj. Appreciate it.